Susie's turn.
What was
The
this?
Apprentice.
Oh, did you? It's the guys
Oh, you
from.
haven't seen the final. Have you ever seen
Is this mine?
I've been
Is that
away
yours?
for
No, it's
4
not.
No,
days.
it's mine.
Have you? Okay,
And
let's
I've
see.
kept off the Twitter. Sorry, now it's
Oh.
So, have you met Alan Sugar then?
No, we don't do the PR for The Apprentice.
Oh, you don't?
Taylor Herring do.
Oh, right.
Well,
Who?
Yes.
So you've just wrapped filming. How's that?
Have I?
Well, no, they finished doing the
Oh, the series.
series.
Oh yeah, good. I saw. I saw episode 8. I'm gonna just move that so I can put my tea there. Is that okay? Sorry, guys. Have I chosen the worst spot? Put it really. Thanks so much. Cheers. I know. Yeah. Good. Good to well, there's always a sense of achievement having got there with it. But honestly, Alex in episode 8 is just, it's her episode. I say that unequivocally now. She's brilliant in it. And 11's a real cracker. I saw that. God, Karen in 10 is just, it could be the best thing she's ever done in Who, I think, maybe. So, I'm really positive about the second half. And as I say, 8 is a real cracker because A, we get to learn loads about all these questions, and B, it's just Alex and Stephen, I've got to say, on huge kind of storytelling form. But Alex is great. Have you seen it?
I've seen bits of it. I've not seen the whole. I'm not seeing the first scene.
Yeah.
But it's very good.
Yeah.
Do you kill Hitler?
I couldn't possibly tell you because I had to kill you. No, I don't. But there are exactly.
He's
See. Yeah.
Is he a good Hitler looking like you?
Yeah, he is. You won't. I think you were about to say, is he a good Hitler?
Sorry.
No, of course.
No such thing.
Although Bruno Ganz in Downfall,
Yes.
good performance as Hitler, but yeah. He is. I was really pleased because you kind of want that to work, don't you? You want that bit to be sort of okay. Yeah, we accept that to be Hitler. So yeah. I
We
think
hear that the Doctor is poisoned in this episode.
Yeah.
Can you just sort of tell us how that
Yeah,
materializes?
he is. I mean, how candidly can we talk about this? I mean,
We talk fairly candidly.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have covered Doctor Who before, so
you know the
also
drill,
we're
right?
having
Yeah.
a screening on the 15th of August,
Yeah.
which you'll all be invited to.
Oh, so the episode's not even out for another 15 years. Yeah, so basically he's poisoned by someone who we all know and love. I won't mention any names, but you can guess yourselves. And it's, it's bad news for the Doctor. Again. And Stephen, I don't know, just weaves the story in so cleverly. But it was great for me because, it's quite fun to spend an episode dying,
Again.
but saving the world at the same time while your body's dying. And again. But it just, because that's what's great about sort of Doctor, isn't it? Because you can say that and we all sort of go, we all kind of forgive it. And go, oh, it's absolutely fine, it's Doctor Who, it doesn't matter. That's just what happens, and we believe it to be true, or at least I do. So there we are. That's the point.
And tell us about this test selector, is that right?
Yeah, the test selector. Well, I think it's going to be, again, it's just, I marvel at the detail of Stephen's thinking sometimes, and this one particularly is very, very clever. How much?
Yeah, you can talk about it because they've got freedom fighters.
The
in it,
type
so
of
you can
robot
talk
it-
about the type of robot.
Yeah. So basically it says, like, the CG for it's really clever. It's like, have you seen Terminator 2?
Yes.
Where it can sort of turn itself into people, and but inside it there are tiny people that operate it, which is sort of brilliant. And he finds himself in Nazi Germany, so needless to say he's impersonating some very interesting people and being a bad guy the same. So again, one of Stephen's very clever creations. I mean, on a completely unrelated note, which I just sort of have to tell you, but I can't tell you anything, Stephen told me about the opening of next season yesterday, and I nearly fell off my chair, but I can't say anything about that. But oh man, it is exciting.
Do you think the special effects are just getting better and better? You know, we've
I
had
think
ships and-
that's a good question, because I think that the Mill this year really up their game, from where they've been. They're the guys that do the S-Face and stuff, and I actually think so much of that has to go to Xana and Marcus, the producers, for being more diligent than people were previously with them, and so hats off to the Mill, because they've been really brilliant, and I think the CG's been really strong this year actually.
Lots of acting to screens. And
Yeah, all of that stuff, which is
How do you find that?
fine now. It's kind of like doing a play, I suppose, in many ways. Yeah, totally fine now. It's because I sort of know the territory that I need to get into, and you know, I have a huge sort of catalogue of aliens in my head. So at any moment, if I'm trying to be really scared, I just imagine one. You know, I went to the Punch Drunk show up in Manchester on Friday, which is where Stephen told me about this thing for next year, and I was like, no. And you know, they have this weeping angel that chases you down a corridor, and they're just so scary, aren't they? The angels, I still think they're one of my favourites.
And you
Which
find
is the
some-
scariest one that you imagine of in your mind that you need to?
I'd say the angels or the silence, I think, for me. I reckon they're the two. Just like, I love those guys, but yeah, I think there's something, and just because the angels move in the dark, and you know, and they sort of move in that, which I love, and they're so quick.
Could it be your mastermind special subject? Are you quite excited?
The Weeping
Is it-
Angels,
No, just
Oh,
all
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who monsters.
not compared to some people.
Be fair.
You beat me. I'm sure there's a few of you in this room who probably beat me, to be honest.
With River's Song, are there more revelations to come, and how did you feel when you found out the secret that Stephen was keeping from you?
No. Yeah, there are. There are lots more revelations to come, as you'll see in 8. Really great ones as well. Well, I mean, it's quite strange, because I do find out quite late on in the process. I have asked for that to change this year. Let's see. We'll see. But I'm just kind of excited when I find any revelation. But you know what? I think it's good payoff for where he started it. So I'm pleased in story terms. I think I didn't go, oh really? That's really rubbish. I went, whoa, that's mental, brilliant. Were you happy, disappointed, indifferent?
Is it better not to know that?
Well, that was Stephen's thinking. I mean, maybe. But you've got to find that at some point. So I'm impatient. Why not let it be early?
Do you go on Twitter when everything's happening live? Because everyone goes mental on Twitter.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
told that the Moth gets on there as well,
Oh,
does he?
does. Yeah, yeah.
Moth,
Oh, yeah.
he was so disparaging about Twitter like 3 or 4 years ago.
And now,
And now he's
yeah.
bang on it, isn't he?
Do you don't go on?
No,
You should at
I
least check in and see. 'Cause
see what he's
everyone's-
writing. So what sort of thing, as the episode's going out,
People are watching it and literally can't contain. You know, who is she? Who's Riversong? Somebody, you know.
and they're kind of theorising about who she
Yes,
is at any
yeah,
given point.
conspiracy theories.
And I bet Stephen's being really,
Cryptic,
really,
annoying.
yeah, coming back as always. Oh, I love it. Oh,
Matt,
cool.
Tell me a little about signing for the second season, because there seem to be lots of stories that we're going to have specials, then
Yeah.
nothing, then suddenly a season. How did that all work for you?
Well, for me, you know, it's just I know that I'm going to shoot 14, of which, you know, I'll be in all of them, with a Christmas special in there. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, I think so.
Yeah.
There's a Christmas special this year.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't know.
And so then, yeah, for me, I'm in Doctor Who, so I'm kind of
Sure.
rolling with it. You know, how they'll actually schedule it, I don't know. But all I know is we start in February.
Do you think the break worked? Sorry, do you think the break worked in the series this time?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited about it coming back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, and you know, hopefully, because we're always hit by the hot weather as well. So, I mean, again, you know, that's not something that I'm not part of that room that gets to consider why and how and when we have a break. But I think with that cliffhanger at the end, I mean, her baby melted in her arms.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
So never any doubt that you would have come back for the second.
No. Absolutely not. No, I love making Doctor Who. It's and I get to be part of that 50th year, which they'll do something mental for. Brilliant. And
What would you like to see them do, Matt, for the 50th anniversary?
I don't know that I'd presume to know really, but I just don't know. I mean, I'm quite interested in all the 3D stuff. 3D TV would be fun, wouldn't it? Especially in Doctor Who, it's very expensive. I don't know how they do it, but
What special hat would you push for the?
I've already been thinking about hats for next year.
The one you're wearing.
Yeah, maybe. I think I think the pork pie is quite fun. The Doctor in a fun trilby. I mean, I think Stephen's going to go for a really ridiculous one, if indeed he gives me one at all. I really like the Stetson.
Can I ask, now you've finished filming this series, we asked our audience a few questions, and one was, what's your favourite moment from this series, and what's your favourite episode from this series?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, one I really like, I think 8's a real barnstorm, but 13 is bloody brilliant. So 1, 8, 13, maybe 11 I really like. I'm so bad at choosing the
That's
episode.
cool.
I know, yeah. Okay, let's say to date, number 8.
Okay, cool.
To date, for the ones I've seen, number 8.
And is there a moment that still makes you go, whoa, that was great?
Oh, yeah. There's a few of those.
Yeah, thank you.
There's a couple in 8. There's when River appears is just pure Doctor Who. You'll go, yay! And I think there's a couple in 7 as well. When we find out, I think that last moment on Alex when she says, "It's me," and I love it. It's just a homage to Star Wars, I think, really.
Yeah.
I'm Melody Pond. I am your daughter. That was pretty, and I think that whole episode he's kind of Star Wars'd up. So
The whole last 50 minutes of that, I mean, I've said it before, but the bit where the Doctor talks to Lorna Bucket, I just thought was probably the best.
Thanks, man.
In
Yeah.
recent years. It was absolutely brilliant.
Thanks so much. It was I think Stephen really liked that actually. He sent me a text about that scene, which was pleasing.
And from the sublime to the ridiculous, another question was, I'm sorry everybody, if you had a superpower, what would it be? Superhero power, and would you use it for good or for evil?
In real life?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'd use it for evil, definitely. Wow, I'd fly.
Yeah.
Definitely flying or being invisible.
Yeah.
Or, but I think flying, and I'd use it for good. And I mean, don't get me wrong.
That's some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Get out of trouble.
Let's not
Just tell the kids.
let's not beat around the bush. I would I'd mine it for its menace. I often think of that. What would yours be?
Mine, it would be the ability to make people I hate have a really horrible day.
It's a really savage superpower, dude.
You don't have the power to do that.
Is that a long list?
Right, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
I'm bitter now.
I'm a huge fan of True Blood. I'm on episode 4 of this season because it's now season 4, and I often think, there's people turning into panthers in that, and people can hear each other, and I love that show though. I sort of had a marathon last night, so I was considering my superpower in the context of that show, and obviously there are vampires, there are fairies, there are werewolves. I'd be a shapeshifter.
I mean, Matt, do you feel like a sort of superhero on the streets anyway when you meet little kids, coming running up to you?
No, because I can't fly. But yeah, I mean, it is wonderful to see children, to treat some children, and that's the great thing about children as opposed to meeting adults. who, I mean, it's nice as well, but it's always nice meeting children because they treat you as the character. And this thing I went up to do, the punch drunk thing with the angels, at the end of it I made a little we had a scene written and I came in at the end. So they've gone around the show and you've got the doctor telling you where to go and you're getting chased and all the rest of it, and then I was like, God, I'm back, bang, 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 and then they burst in this door and they're all just like, whoa. And then you do this scene with them and I'm going, oh, you know, if only I had some Artron energy, I just need some Artron energy. And they're like, well, we've got it. And I'm like, no, but you have to be a time traveller to have Artron. And they're like, but we are, we are. And I'm like, okay, touch this. And it lights up and it's, you know, but much kind of, in all this, is Stephen Moffat dressed in a whole romper suit with a mask. He was like this. And he came afterwards, he was just like, I felt like I met the doctor. And I was in the episode, it was, you know, he had a great time. So it was, yeah.
Do you think it's too scary for kids?
No.
Do you think it's too complicated for kids?
No, because, you know, have you ever watched The Simpsons with someone younger than you? And you're laughing at loads of stuff that they don't get, and you're getting onto loads of stuff that they
It's
don't get.
complicated sometimes. Or
Yeah.
Prompted a lot of discussions in our living room, which is good.
But, like,
there was
Sometimes-
I think there was some
You have to
stories or
concentrate.
something that said some people
Yeah.
thought it was playing better to older audiences than its younger sort of
But-
fan base.
I just don't know if, from the children I've met, I don't know if that's true, you know. I mean, you know, I guess it's a matter of opinion. For me, I think it's good to challenge people. I think too much of what we put out there nowadays artistically patronises us by breaking it down and making it simpler. And you know, we don't want to do that. Stephen's not going to do that. And you know, it's good for kids to have to work out narratively and make links. And also, you know, at different ages you get different things. When the big theme music kicks on and the doctor's pelting down a corridor, you know, or something like that, whether you're 5 or whether you're 25, you understand that. Now, whether you understand he's pelting down the corridor to save someone in time who was displaced by a monkey, I mean, and all the rest of it, I don't know. But
Some of those monsters are pretty scary though.
yeah, but isn't, you know, I mean, I really believe that actually most of the adults I talk to, I mean, I know you watched him as a kid, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the adults I talk to sort of remember being scared fondly in Doctor Who, because it sort of, it makes you aware of fear, and it teaches you, you know, teaches you what fear is in many ways, and sorry, that's twice that's happened, bloody thing. So
It's a more grown-up show now, because you know, Stephen Fry sort of infamously said that, dismissed it away as a children's show.
yeah.
Is it a grown-up adult sci-fi show?
Yeah, but you know, what grown-up adult sci-fi show has someone eating fish fingers and custard? And what grown-up adult sci-fi show, you know, has a dude walking around in a fez for I mean, yeah, the great thing is, it's both. I think it is both, for me anyway. I mean, I think that's why it's a family show, because it does cater to all. And actually, Stephen, you know, I find this sort of observation that he's made it to adult quite remarkable, really, because so many of his episodes have children in, and unlike any other writer, most of his ideas come from children. He just doesn't patronise children, which I think is good. But who knows what he'll do with it next? I mean, you know, he's bonkers, but brilliant.
Have you tried fish fingers and custard?
Yeah. Have you tried it?
Well,
It's
Yeah,
not.
sounds
It's,
I love fish
absolutely great.
fingers. So I
And
think maybe
custard,
love
but not
custard.
together.
it's not as bad as you'd think.
I might try it.
It
Is
kind
that
of.
chips and ice cream?
I haven't tried that.
Oh, that, yeah,
Just really.
bargain.
Wow.
The Lodger was a really popular episode last year.
Yeah.
You've got a sequel coming up to it.
Yeah.
Could you share a flat with the Doctor? If so, what would drive you mad about him?
I'd love to share a flat with the Doctor. I mean, it would drive me mad. So much, of course, but you know, if you asked me today, would I go and be the Doctor's companion? Yes, absolutely. I mean, it would be the most wonderful thing in the world. But what would drive me mad? Threats on my life, aliens, Cybermen walking in. You know, strange little creepy girls at the top of staircases, like so much. But I definitely roll with it. He'd be a great flatmate, the best. Never there. You know, doesn't really eat.
So the whole talking to cats thing wouldn't freak you out.
But I'd love that. I always had a cat called Timmy as a kid, and literally for a good few years I would will it to talk. I loved that cat, but sadly no, he didn't.
Is the talking cat back in the new episode?
No. But James is back on fine fiddle. I saw that the other day as well, and it's great. And, yeah, Cybermen are great. So I like those episodes. I want him to come back again, James.
Can you tell us a bit more about the upcoming episodes after 8?
Coming up, yeah, what have we got? We have got Let's Kill Hitler. We found out a lot about Riversong, then we've got Mark Gatiss' episode with a load of really freaky dolls.
Is that Danny Mays?
Yeah, Danny Mays, who's just a wonderful bloke, brilliant actor. And then we have, what's that? 8. 9 is...
9 is the Danny Mays one.
Oh, that's 9.
Yeah.
So then 10 is... 10 is Tom McRae's, where we see Amy Pond go on a very interesting adventure. And I don't know, how much you know about
So
that?
I've got some robots in it.
Does she?
Yeah.
What's
She
is
goes
this one
in,
of the
she gets
handbots?
sick.
Yeah, with the handbots. Yeah, there's these handbots, and it's about time. There's a whole time twist in it, but it gives Karen the platform to be very brilliant, acting-wise, and wear a prosthetic. That's all I'll say. 11 is marvellous. Toby Whithouse's great monster. Again, 10 and 11 had a really strong director in Nick was. He's done really great work. David Walliams, very funny, very brilliant in them. And
What character does he play?
directorial. He plays this sort of mole-looking creature who comes from a planet where, again, I think I can probably say this. Yeah, who comes from a planet where the whole population are designed to be afraid. So that's their purpose in life, is to sort of welcome invaders and be captured.
So like Ian Lemming.
Yeah, kind of. But you can imagine David being quite funny at that, you know. So he's very good.
So is he a nice character?
Oh, you'll have to watch. You'll have to wait and see. You'll have to wait and see. There's a bit. And then 12 is James, Cybermen, sort of 3 men and a baby, kind of, you know, which is really great fun. And 13.
You your copy of Tomb of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
In
Oh
preparation.
man. Yeah. I'm still pushing for those sort of. Although I think the Cybermen in that they're sort of a bit more messed up. I just don't want the Cybermen to be too polished. I like them when they're a bit. And 13 is, you know, Stephen answering all our questions. Very cleverly.
What about the pterodactyls? And where do they come into it?
Yeah.
13.
Well, yeah, they are there. It's a strange world that they occupy. But needless to say, there are children around when there are pterodactyls around, so it's a human one, but it's pretty bizarre. I probably shouldn't say too much about that.
Do you talk to Stephen about your character, in a sense, where the character's going, or do you just leave everything to Stephen and you, after you've read it, go, this seems right, this seems...
Yeah, I mean, I do. I think Stephen has such a clear take on the Doctor that he does so much of that work. That's the benefit of having a brilliant writer, is that he's got such a clear vision and such a sort of inventive vision for him. But I'd like to think that he's seen elements of me and is sort of weaving them into his writing, I think. So it's a collaboration in the best sense of the word, but yeah, make no mistake about it, he's the boss.
Sure.
Sorry.
Which sort of elements of you do you think there are?
Well, he takes the piss out of my chin all the time, and my hair. No, I think he's made this Doctor quite sort of baffling and clumsy and ridiculous, which is hopefully the sort of areas that I explore. But then, you know, it's like with the Doctor always, he has to have great wit, be very acute, be very clever and brilliant, and I think Stephen is those things himself, so he informs so much of himself in the writing. I mean, kind of Stephen's very good at writing really clever characters. Look at Sherlock. It's, he writes a brilliant Sherlock as well.
You say that he's incorporated the wit and that aspect of the Doctor, but in the last episode we saw him sort of explore the Doctor as a dark character, which was sort of at odds to perhaps how the Doctor perceives himself. What did you think about him taking the Doctor down that direction?
I really like it actually, and it's an area that I'd like to explore. The thing is, the thing with Doctor Who is, there's only so long I think you can explore that, because who wants to turn in or tune in and see a guy moaning about saving the world? But who wants to tune in and see a guy having a right laugh saving the world and being ridiculous? I'd rather do the second one personally, and I think that's what Doctor Who would rather do. But I think it's very interesting for us to see this character that we all know in different guises and know him very well, fundamentally, to sort of see him pushed to an edge. And I think if you mess with Amy Pond, at least for me, for my Doctor, that's the edge. Don't mess with Pond.
To make it one last question, guys.
Can I ask a question at River? Can you just confirm how many she's back for? And what's it like having Alex back again? Because you seem to really get on well through.
I love Alex Kingston, deeply. She's just wonderful, a wonderful actress. She's a great friend, someone who, from the moment I walked onto the set on Doctor Who, has been a great influence for me and a real guiding light, and took care of me really, because it was quite a daunting thing, and she just embraced me, so that was nice. And she's back for 8, and she's definitely back in 13, and she'll be back. She'll be back. River's not going anywhere.
Could she be a full-time companion?
Don't know. I think she's too independent to ever be a full-time. I think you'd probably need a companion. I think that's what makes it great with River, is companion. There's a companion and the Doctor, and they're doing their thing, and then whoosh, in comes the hair. And just messes and makes the Doctor go, oh, River's hair. She frightens him, And, weirdly, he finds himself he's going, why the hell do I feel attracted? What's that? But that's the woman who he goes, whoa, woof.
I think there's a Rebecca Brooks element there.
To River?
Yeah, I think that's what you're,
Good link.
they're the vibes you're getting there. You'll play it differently now.
Yeah.
Are you disappointed you still haven't got Eric Cantona in, have you? What's going on with that?
Eric Cantona is just not. That hasn't materialised. Eric Cantona, Whoopi Goldberg.
That's new.
Yeah.
Okay. Colin
Like
Firth
her,
you
innit?
said last time.
Colin Firth would be great. He would not do it though. God, there's so many people I'd love to get in it.
What kind of characters would Cantona?
Cantona's definitely evil. Whoopi Goldberg's got to be a companion for an episode. She'd be a great companion, wouldn't she? I think. God, do you know what? I hate this. Because I always think of actors, and then I think, when you guys ask me, because it's generally you guys that ask me about this, and I think, I should have said them, And they're often friends of mine who are like, you never mention me. So there we are.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you all again.
Yeah, brilliant.
Who's next on the list?
That's it.
Another bunch of these guys.
Another
Yeah. No, I meant for you guys.
Over these guys.
Are you interviewing Karen this afternoon?
Karen this afternoon.
No, you are. Oh, all right. What shows have you been doing? Apparently, The Fade is really good.
Oh, I just did a big junket for that last